There are many ways to connect with the Most High God, and it's individually to each person. So, a lot of people or different people have different routes on how they connect with the Most High God, and that is all good. All as long as you're connecting with the Most High God, that's all that matters, right? As for me, the way that I've learned to connect with the Most High God was through self love. And when I say self love, I had to first identify everything that was stopping me from loving myself and what patterns were causing me to self sabotage and to neglect myself. And when I did that, I realized that I was neglecting my inner child, right? And that all of these patterns, all of these self destructive habits started at a very young age, right? And then I had to realize what people, places, and things around me were causing me to behave in a certain way, and what things triggered me, and where exactly was I abandoning myself at, and was I putting before myself that caused me to neglect myself. I hope that makes sense. So, when I speak about God is within us, I mean, we have to heal ourselves first so that we could hear the God that's within us. And God is within us, so we have to take care of our body, which is our temple where God resides in. And so, in order, like the way that I learned, because I didn't grow up in religion. I was like thrown certain scriptures such as, like, honor your mother and your father, your days would be long, give to your mother and your father type of scenario. um the normal stuff, like I had Bible thumping people around me, and so those were the scriptures that kept me in bondage, right? So I was catering to other people because I wanted to be something that wasn't who I was, and was self-destructing me, right? And then when it came to spirituality, I didn't know what that was either. So I learned that, like, I wasn't much of anything. I was just a good person. That I've always been a good person. So when it came to, but I was a good person to other people. I wasn't so much of a good person to myself. And that's where the issue lied. Because when it came to a point where I needed to choose to live, like it was to that point. Do you want to live or not, right? I had to choose to heal, and by choosing to heal, I had to choose to remove everything that no longer served me. And for me, it started with the people around me. And during that time frame, not only was I surrounded by people that were self-destructive to me, but I was also indulging in habits that were not beneficial for me either. So I was guided to observe and then remove, right? And then the way that I was guided to observe and remove was to observe the spirits that were operating through these people. And for me, these people were the people that were supposed to be like held the titles such as mother, father, uncle, brother, cousin, the your inner circle, the places that you wish to belong, that you wanted to be a safe place for you. At least that's what I wanted it to be for me. But that wasn't the case, and there had been so many events prior to me getting to that point that had revealed to me, hey, this is not what you want. Hey, this is not what you want. Hey, maybe go this way. But because of the programming, I kept choosing to stay. I kept choosing to fix the situation. And not only the programming, but, I was under heavy dark magic. Let's use that term, like, which I didn't know. and rituals which I wasn't aware of. So even though I was still under rituals and dark magic at that time, I was guided to observe the spirits that were operating through these people and to starve them out. And because I was guided to starve them out while being in their presence, I was guided and it was shown to me, like it was told to me, like, hey, you're going to see this if you do this. And what it was like, it was, don't give these people any reaction. They feed off your emotions. Observe what you see. And then at that moment, I was able to see that what I was being told was real. And then I was able to see the spirit that was operating through these people. And that was what led me to remove myself completely, because I was shown. Like, I saw that the person that I thought was inside that vessel was no longer in that vessel. That person that I thought was my mother was not. That wasn't it. Right? So it took that much for me. It took for me to actually see it. And then from there, I was able to detach from the programming, because I understood, hey, there are spirits that are operating through certain people, and that's why they behave this way. So let's detach the titles, let's detach from the programming, let's remove the titles, and let's see the person for who they are, and let's identify what spirits are operating through these people. And then you'll know that the spirit has taken over. So you forgive the person because they know not what they do, but you don't interact with the spirit. And you starve out the spirit by not engaging with it, because what the spirit wants is a reaction from you through your emotions, which is the way that they're able to feed off you. I hope that made sense, right? So it came to that point where I was able to see it, I was able to detach from the programming, detach the person from the spirit, forgive the person for they know not what they do, not engage with the spirit, right? And from there, I was able not to pass. I was guided to not pass judgment on the person for why was it that it was that I'm not allowed to pass judgment. It was explained to me that anything we pass judgment on, we have to go ahead and repeat it again in another lifetime. So that's why it's important that we don't attach to anything. And and also, in order to make it to the fifth dimension, you have to, on the fourth dimension, where you do the healing, where you forgive, you have to not pass judgment, because that means you're attached to something, and you're not allowed to be attached to anything, to be able to access the spiritual realm. And so by choosing to do this practice, not only did I make space for me to heal, I also, without knowing, chose myself. And the purpose of every single individual on planet Earth right now, as a whole collective, not just a specific collective, but entirely, our purpose is to love ourselves individually. And when we do that, we make space within our vessel in all dimensions, in our conscious, subconscious, and we are able to access the spiritual realm where inside of us, which is where God resides. So some people go to the church on Sundays, right? And that's what works for them. And there are many different practices, right? But the way that I found it to benefit me, like that works for me, was through healing, by choosing myself, loving myself, stop engaging on things that caused me to abandon myself, gain the lesson out of things. And after I did all of that, through prayer, meditation, healing, I am able to access God who resides within me without a middleman.